Go.
Okay, a few words about myself. I was born and raised in Israel, in kibbutz, which is a farm community. And kibbutz, the idea of the kibbutz is like a communist idea, you know. So I was raised as a communist. I'm sorry, but not anymore. That's a good thing about it. And long time ago, I moved to the city, and when I met Steve, it was like my first beginning of knowing Yeshua and starting to search and become close and more close to Yeshua. And finally, I find Yeshua is my Messiah, my Rabbi, and yeah, it's come late in my life, but better, you know, uh, soon. It's not late. And so during that, I don't know, my beginning of my belief in 2020, I was guiding Laura, and finally I was like finding myself starting a new path in my life. And more and more I starting to become close to Yeshua. Even then you have to understand one thing. The Jewish community not really accept things like that. Okay? When I said not really accept, it's understatement. Yeah, even the secular people in Israel. According to the Judaism, Messiah didn't come yet, and he's supposed to appear one day. We don't know exactly, but we're on the way. Now, there is so many different community in Israel that have a different opinion about that, but all of them know one thing for sure: he didn't come yet. Okay? And when I started to search about Yeshua, I find out then this is it. I don't know why you like hesitating about when it's gonna come and if it's gonna come. It's already came and is like going to show himself again. I hope in our lifetime. And I always thought like when I wrote the Gospels, I find out like this is a Jewish story. What it's got to do with the Christianity then we know, which means the Catholicism, you know. Nothing, everything is a Jewish. The temple is Jewish. The land is the land of Israel. The law is a Jewish law. The God is a God of Israel. What is it? I mean, I was like really confusing with myself, like, I don't know. I have to search more. What's going on? You know, what's going on? How? Why we push them aside? What happened to us? Then we didn't like that rabbi. You know, then I considering him as a great rabbi, and more and more, then I starting to asking questions. Some of the questions was not really nice questions. You know, not polite. Like I really want to understand. And finally, I find this is the way, and I believe that Yeshua want me as a Jewish to keep living my life as a Jewish. You know, not to give up all the holidays and my believing. Then we should live in the promised land and not giving up and not giving that land to anyone anymore. Because maybe we, in a way, for Messiah to come, if you're going to like thinking about what happened just 100 years ago in the land of Israel and what is today, how are you going to explain that? It's like maybe we in the path of the Messiah, okay? Because 100 years ago was totally nothing over there. It was wilderness. I mean, real one. 100 years ago, Jerusalem looked a terrible place. You should come to see Jerusalem. That's a miracle. I mean, how Jerusalem built, all the roads over there, the houses, the apartments, the old city of Jerusalem, how we keeping all the holy places over there. And that's something then, we cannot ignoring from that. And me as a Jewish believer, I cannot ignoring from that. And to see the supporting of so many Christians in the state of Israel, in the land of Israel, it's not just like that. 100 or 200 or hundreds years before that, no one was supporting that. And now we're seeing how much love we're getting, even in the big hate that we have around us. And I like what the pastor Jeremiah said today. Then this is the same God. This is the same God that bring out the people of Israel from Egypt to the desert, and from the desert to the promised land. And he keep his promise after 2,000 years, and here we're there again, against all the chances. Think about how many enemies we have. Mm-hmm. I mean, I just came from the war, guys. What Donald Trump called to that war, the 12 days war. Like the 6 days, I like it. But okay, the 12th, it was really, really not nice to be at that time. I was like raising my eyes to the skies first to see where is the debris going to fall and pray for the God. And I said, what is going to be? I mean, we're really going to win in that war, or we're doing a mistake? And I think in the spirit of the people, and should come see that, see how much people very determined to protect the land of our fathers, and not to give up for other forces that want to take it. And like, you have to understand, other forces want to make one religion for the whole world, okay? So that no matter if you are Christians, Jewish, or whatever you believe, they want to enforce everyone to believe in one religion. And to see that, it's like really, I'm proud of my people, and I want you to come over there and to see all the holy sites. When Jesus had a hard time, he never thought to give up and to leave the land to Egypt, for instance, to make a little bit money, because Egypt at that time was the America of the region, He didn't say, I'm give up. I'm sick and tired of those people of my country. I'm living a quiet life. No, he fought. And he fought against the priests, which there was the elite, and there was like controlling everything. And that's like really, when I more and more search about it, I was like starting to admire the determinants of men that have a faith. And that's what I have, a faith, and if you want to know what is the secret weapon of the state of Israel, I will tell you, it's not what you heard in the media about some textile factory. It's the faith. That's the faith that we have, and that's something that is impressed me. But if you have some questions to ask about what's going on in Israel and how we're dealing with the situations, I will be happy to answer.
So tell them a little bit about you just being in the middle of what you just came out of, and then even delaying your trip and getting here.
Well, first of all, was easy to get out of Israel. To find a flight, it was like a mission. The only way to get out of the state, it was like the land border, which means I don't know if to say thanks God. Yeah, thanks God. Then we have a peace agreement with Jordan and Egypt. So that's the only way to pass the border, and from there to take a flight. I even thought to do that, but it's like a long journey, like it's like hours and hours, and you're gonna stay in a state, and then the people over there don't like you. Again, it's understatement. Don't like you. The regime cooperates because they want to exist. Otherwise, this was also going to be nothing over there. But the people really hate the idea that the Jewish people returning back to the same land, to the same God, to the same language, to the same scriptural, and that's kind of amazing things. I will give you some example things to know what is a real miracle. In 1947, the 29th of November, the United Nations declare of the two-state solution, Jewish state and the Arab state. That's the day then we find the Dead Sea Scroll. The word came out of the ground, the Hebrew word, the same Hebrew word that Jesus and the people was speaking and writing and reading, came out of the ground in the desert, and we find it. I mean, what more than you could ask for kind of a message like that? And those Dead Sea Scrolls, right now, of course, you could come and learn and study about them, and even seeing them in the Israeli Museum. There is a special place for them called Shrine of the Book. And to see those Hebrew words then came out of the ground after 2,000 years, and we're still speaking the same language. I could read that scroll and not 100% to understand everything, but 60, 70% of it I could understand, And think about it, how many English speaker could read something from Shakespeare and understand? And just was like, 150 years? We're talking about 2,000 years.
2,000 years ago.
Actually, it's more than 2,000. It's 2,200.
Yeah, English 500 years ago, we wouldn't understand anything. Not
Totally.
one word.
Thou dost
No, it wouldn't.
protesteth
we
much.
understand
Yeah.
that. Yay, I understand yay, but I don't understand their language back 500 years ago. It's amazing, yeah.
So that's amazing, and one of the important things then I want my believers to come and to see the land of Israel. It's to search those places. A faith without searching, without learning, with always looking for and learning, it's going to be a shallow faith. If you want to know more about Yeshua, you have every day to study and to learn and to read sentence that you know already, but you never thought like to go deeply and try to figure out what he mean when he said it. What is the situations was, the language, the political environment that was in that time. So many other questions, not just like words that we know and trying to bring those words to our time in our context, Try to go back there and understand why he said those things. And that's what I did, and especially about the Dead Sea Scroll, when I searching about that more and more, I was like shocked to know then the 5 books of Moses have a different version. Now you could say, oh, they have a different versions, maybe that and that and that. Say, no, it's original a book or scroll. Then people wrote about it 2,200 years ago, which telling the story 1,000 years before. So that was very close to the event, And it's original one. Think about if we're going to find the original handwriting of Yeshua. And it was a little bit different. What you going to say? It's something then it's amazing, okay? So, okay, I could tell you about the Jewish Orthodox people. They're not accepting that. But you coming and said, but it's original handwriting of those people. Yeah, we have our tradition, our way for 2,000 years, and we don't want to touch that.
So the
I like to
Orthodox
touch
are
that.
not accepting?
Not exactly.
Wow.
No, not accepting. They're not accepting that. And I was like, always have that debate with the Orthodox people. How come? According to the Jewish faith, almost like 1800 years ago, they made canon, the canonize of the Bible, and since then they close it, and no other outside scroll or book could come and affecting that. And even it's a curse. It's one of the curse in a very important rabbi. I don't know if you heard about him, Rabbi Akiva. Okay, he gave a curse. Then everyone, then he's going to read from an outside a source. He will curse, and yeah, but Jewish people are afraid of a curse. You have to understand. No.
They just need to believe in Jesus or Yeshua.
Jesus also, Yeshua also cursed. So people, it's a big effect on people, It's like people like taking that really seriously. When Yeshua cursed three towns,
Chorazin,
Chorazin,
Capernaum,
and Kursi. Kursi, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, all of them around the Sea of Galilee.
and was Bethsaida?
Bethsaida, I don't think so.
No.
He didn't curse Bethsaida. But first of all, we know what happened later to those. The all was destroyed, and people was That's the way to to enforce people by giving a curse. I know in our time it's not really affecting, It's like if you're gonna hear someone then cursing someone, you're gonna say that, nonsense. What are you cursing? It's not polite. Why are you talking like that? But that was the way, and that's exactly why I start to search about the time of Yeshua in the Bible. Want to understand the mentality of the people. Okay, want to understand the faith. What was wrong between different community? Why there was fighting between themselves and killing each other? What is like really was like so hard. And even I was like interesting about to know where Yeshua get all his knowledge about the Bible, where he studied. We don't know, isn't it? It's not written in some place. Then he go to that and that yeshiva or university and he get a degree here and there. But I think then I find that his grandfather was a priest. Okay, so
his
yes, he was a
earthly
priest.
grandfather.
Yeah, his grandfather, so his mother's side. Okay, and if he was a priest, probably he came from elite, and he got knowledge, and he come from a good home. And to order to lead people, you have to get a high educations. For instance, Moses, he not was a slave, he was a prince, and he got knowledge. Okay, so when he came to the people, he was a little bit, how I said, above, with more knowledge, know how to talk with Pharaoh without shaking, Think about it, a slave to talk with a Pharaoh. It's not he can't do that. Mentally, he cannot do that. And that's why we have a character like Moses, then know all those people to come and talk and even be strong with the Spirit of God, of course. Yeah? So that's what I find. And, well, guys, we need every believer to come to visit Israel. First, I want to tell you something. The income of tourism in Israel, I know how much you think. You think it's a lot, huh? But it's not. It's barely 4% of the income. Mostly it's technology, it's agriculture, and yes, we're selling also. We're good with arms and weapons, unfortunately. So we're good with it, and the world want to buy our products, but not tourism. And I think then we need to bring back all the people that want to see where Jesus walked. What is the Galilee? What is the Jordan Valley? How is the Jordan River look? Okay. Yeah.
Do you think that because of media, that maybe that's why people you don't have tourism
Of course.
there? Because of,
Yeah, I could.
they show how bad it is there,
Hmm.
and it scares people.
Yeah, news need to sell commercials.
News needs to sell commercials.
I also heard about a place in Nashville that it's very dangerous to walk in the nighttime. You could get robbed.
For those, I'm talking about Dodge City, if
Yeah,
anybody
yeah,
knows
Dodge
Dodge
City,
City.
okay. So what should I do? Not go over there? Listen to the media? Listen to the, okay? Yes. We have a very, how I say, tough enemy. We're living in a hard neighborhood, but thanks God we are creating our stuff always from the beginning, and we have no privilege to lose any war, any battle. Because if we're going to lose, we're not going to be there. So we have to fight. And sometimes in a war, it look bad. Who said then to see the battlefields, it's like nice to see it? It's not a movie, it's real life. And yes, people suffering. But to know what happened in October 7, while we thought like we find solutions with Gaza by letting people come and walking with us, getting permits, and get a high quality of life. Just like give you an example, the GDP in Egypt, Jordan, Lebanon, and Syria, it's not more than $4,000 or $5,000 a year. In Israel, it's $56,000 a year.
Oh, wow.
So by switching the border from here to here, you're increasing your life quality. It's like 10, 20, 30 times more. We let to the Gaza people to come to work in Israel. 50,000 Gaza people used to cross the border every day and returning back and getting a good job instead of getting a $100 a day. Yeah, they made a $500 or $600 a day. So you understand them. We thought like, hey, we're providing the jobs, and maybe by that, maybe they're gonna like our life, like we like to live, isn't it? But we find out that it's not about no money, not quality of life. It's about faith that they have, and they, according to the Islam, radical Islam, I want to say radical Islam, it's not the general of the Islam. It's like to get rid of all those infidels. And Jewish people, it's one of them, or the most worst of them. And what they did in October 7 is like shocking us. The most pro-Palestinian Israelis switching their opinions. They not like really believe that we could live in a two-state solutions. I remember that days, Laura was at home. I was guiding a group, and I saw the missiles, and I said, should I tell to my group that there is a missiles going on, or should I not? Or should I scare them? And I was wondering with myself when I came to the hotels, the sirens came on, and I said, okay, I have no choice. Yeah, you know. And I couldn't even believe then that's what happened. 5,000 terrorists invade to Israel, killed, beheaded, raped women in festivals over there, bake really babies in an oven, that put them in the ovens, did a terrible, terrible things that we couldn't even imagine than a human being could do, and especially those people. One of the story I want to tell is about American Israeli woman. Then was like giving her life to help to the children of Gaza, those that have medical problem, especially cancers, and she dedicated her life to bring babies and children from Gaza and to help them in Israel. And you know what happened to her? They burned her body. It took weeks until we find some, I don't know, kind of a burned body. Then it takes time to recognize. She couldn't say to those people, you know, I was on your side. And they didn't care about it. So the war then we decide to go against those evil people, it's to know that we have to, once and all, to end it. I know it doesn't look good in the media. This is a war. But we have no choice. It's either we want a normal life and to hold the land over there, or either we're losing because people not going to live in such a area then you're not secure, you know. And that's what we're doing. And we're dealing right now with the seventh front. We have the Lebanese above us, the Syrians, we have the Houthis, the Yemens, we have the Gaza and Iran, which is huge country. You know how many times Israel could fit in Iran? 21 times. Okay? So with that tiny country, then we did amazing things over there. And I think this is the time for everyone to come and showing support to the only one Jewish state, you know. And in the only one democracy country in the Middle East. And the only one state in the Middle East that believe in the God of Israel, speaking Hebrew, and giving a freedom to everyone to choose whatever he wants to be, Messianic, Christians, Muslim, Jewish, that kind of a Jewish, that kind of a whatever. And we cannot give up for that. And of course we need the support of people to come to see this. And another aspect of that, it's to search your faith and come to see it, you know, come to see what is Jerusalem. When Jesus walked from the upper room to the Garden of Gethsemane, I guess people that don't know, they're thinking, oh, he walked so far, but it's not. It's like very small.
Well, you know, there's been a lot of conflict over there right now, and you've got Iran that just put in relative peace. You've got the Palestinians that are on the defensive. You've got the Houthis that got beat up pretty bad.
Yeah.
It's pretty peaceful over there right now, though, correct?
Life, all that things that you describe and I try to describe you, in a regular life, you don't know what I'm talking about. If you're going to walk in Jerusalem, the street of Jerusalem, you're going to feel
it's peaceful,
the
right?
most secure place in the world, you know. Okay, so we have a siren, we have technology, then let you know a half an hour before the missiles come, they're like giving you a note in your telephone and telling you in such a times, be around a security place or security room. Every apartment, not every, but let's say 70% of the apartments and houses in Israel have a security room. Some are room then built with a heavy concrete. And you're staying there for like 5-10 minutes and then life going back to, you know, normal. Yeah, funny, but this is it. You know, we practicing that many times. The beginning of the war.
We have tornadoes.
Yeah,
We do have
wars. Believe me, I prefer the Iranian missiles and not tornado.
Yeah.
Because against tornado, what
And they ran out.
what
Tornadoes
can
never ran
I
out.
cannot protect myself, you know. But against the missiles, yeah, we find out how to do that. And, yeah.
Tell me what you're talking about. At the beginning, how many rockets were coming in and how many rockets you see coming in now?
Oh wow! In the beginning, October 7 was thousands a day, and we intercept 85% of them. Yes, one here and there was hitting the ground and did that damage, but beginning of the war with Iran was 300 ballistic missiles, not the rocket, you know, which is like nothing, barely do a damage. It's a ballistic missiles. It's like could destroying a neighborhood, you know. 300 of them was sending over Israel, and we intercepting 98% of them. It's like, what is it? Like a Star War, you know, like, yeah, something like that. Yes, here and there we missing a few missiles, which is make a big damage, and every missile make a damage, then you like shocking. But think what could happen if we didn't intercept those. And the more we came into the war, from 300, we came to a few missiles of the Iranians. Mostly, we destroying a lot of things over there. We did amazing things. We eliminate the head of the military, the revolution military, the head of the military over there, and all kind of assigned nuclear scientists, you know. Even one of them was cheating with his misters. We find them and we killed them, and he's bad. And all of that was in the same time. We eliminate all of the leaders of the Iran regime. And of course, we on the way we took a lot of missiles and the nuclear weapons of the Iranians. We did an amazing job over there. Yes, we need the help of the America to bring the big enchilada, you know, the B2, and to drop it. Save a lot of efforts, you know, to go over there and do that by ourselves. We don't have that bombs. But we did it, and the Israelis like so thanks for the American and for the demonstrations in America. Really, if Trump will go to elections in Israel, probably he wins. Yes, I could be. Yeah, and it's a tough time right now, but normal life. It's amazing to be in Israel and to see normal life, totally normal life. Yeah,
So
and
none of the sacred sites were hit, right? Were any of the sacred sites hit?
yeah. The,
I don't think so.
what?
Were any of the holy sites hit?
Oh,
Any
the
of
holy
sacred or
sites?
holy
No.
Nothing-
Mostly it was there was directing on the Jewish neighborhoods, like where it's like big populations over there, and they're trying to hit a military, but you know, was a lot of damage. Yes, a few buildings was like totally destroyed. We got casualties. But the war with Iran, it's going to be funny to let you know how many people died, the Israeli. 29 people.
Oh, wow.
All those missiles then I just like described, hundreds and hundreds of days. At the end of the day, only 29 people get killed.
God is good.
Amen.
So it's kind of hard to even to understand it, you know. Yeah, it's safe. The end of
Sounds
the
like
day,
it.
it's safe. Yeah.
And the only way we would have to apple and orange it, but take several years of the Vietnam War and only 29 of our soldiers died.
Yeah.
I mean, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, think about it. In Iran, it's big country. They are fanatics. They don't think about life as a value they have to keep. They like believe in Allah. Then the better life it will be if you sacrifice yourself for the purpose, and then you're gonna get eternal life over there. And to kill a Jew or Christians or any infidel, it's like you become a martyr, shaheed, it's called in Arabic. So you cannot negotiate with people like that, We have a hostages in Hamas. They don't want to really come in life over there. They're preparing to die, What we going to offer to them? $10 million? $100 million? They don't want it. So it's like how you could deal with someone that don't like life. End of story. End of negotiation, And that's what the state of Israel is dealing with our neighbors. But we're doing that good. I have to say that we're doing that amazingly,
I think just to kind of echo some of that, a few things. This war is just as much spiritual as it is physical. And so when Ellie says there were only 29 who lost their lives, like, that is divine protection over the land. Like, it is the Iron Dome, but it is the hand of God that has protected the land of Israel.
Totally.
And so to experience that, to witness that, to like be able to testify to that is, I mean, you feel like you're living in the Exodus. You feel like you're living in the Torah and seeing this prophecy unfold, and you can't not know that it's divine. Everyone there, believer or not believer, knows that it's a divine protection.
Oh yeah.
That man is not capable enough on his own to defend himself in the way that Israel has been able to withstand all of the attacks from all 7 fronts over the last 667 days. That's how many days we've been in this war. Every day, we've had these like highs and lows, and now at this season of the war where we've like fought the big guys, we've fought the big bad dog and the strong enemies, we're still dealing with the effects of war. But as Ellie was saying, you don't feel that when you're in Israel.
No.
Especially now that this situation in Iran, like we took care of that big threat, it was the big barking dog that was saying, we're coming for you, we're coming for you. So Israel said, okay, let's take care of this. And so that's happened, just a few months ago, not even a few months ago, a month ago. But throughout Israel, what it looks like and feels like in those situations, I wasn't there this past month. Ellie was there. I had just arrived here in the States when all that started. But what
7
looks
days
like,
before.
Yeah.
7 days before.
What it looks like is everybody has their shelters, their security shelters in their home. Everybody has like notification services on their phone to alert you to everything that's going on. You're completely up to date. Like if a missile is coming, it's coming almost an hour before it comes so that you can be near a safe place. It's incredible technology that they have. And so all the hotels, everybody just kind of just sat still during that,
Nobody panics
12
when it
days. Like nobody went to work, nobody went to school, everybody just kind of sat still and let the IDF do its thing, let the military protect the land, but also watch the Lord protect the land just as he promised that he would and will continue to do. And just on the note of like believers in the church during that time, even being here and watching our services there, and because churches weren't allowed to meet, there were restrictions on gatherings of large number of people. So just watching the live services, you could see just, they would have they would still do a service, but the people wouldn't be together. So the leaders of the church would rally and they would share the testimonies of what's going on other believers and believers who are fighting in the war, fighting physically in Gaza, fighting with our Air Force, all these things. I mean, it's incredible to hear the way that the Lord strengthened not just only the Messianic believing Christian soldiers, but also those who are not, who since the war have started returning to the Torah, returning to the roots of the faith and finding their faith. Even if it's not to Yeshua yet, it's finding back to God, finding that road. And it's been incredible. We've seen so many believing soldiers be a testimony to the guys around them, to the men and women around them, because when you're in
With a
this
weapon,
place
M16 or
and
yeah.
when you're in this war,
Yeah.
your soul, your heart is so vulnerable because you're afraid. You're afraid for your life. And so the believers from our church just coming back and giving testimonies of being look, we were just in the tanks, going into battle, and I started talking about my faith and why I wasn't afraid and why I just could trust that the Lord would take care of us. And then testimonies of other guys wanting to know I want that same thing, the same courage that you have, the same peace that you have about this, I want that. So continue to pray for the believers, because those believers, they're 17, 18-year-old people. They're not pastors and leaders, but they're young, they're young in their faith, and they're out there making a huge difference. So it does feel safe in the land, and it's been one of the most incredible things that I've experienced is seeing the Lord's divine story just unfold in such a real way. You're not reading about it in a book, you're seeing it and experiencing it, and it's been incredible. Despite the scary things you see on the media, it doesn't feel like that when you're in the land of Israel at all. It can if you let fear take over, if you watch the media too much. Just like here, when you overconsume anything, it becomes toxic. Overconsume the media, you watch, you're we can't go out, we can't do anything. The world is gonna fall apart, but just holding a grounding and spiritual.
Yeah, but what you're really seeing in the street of Jerusalem, a lot of people carry a gun.
Yeah.
That's
A lot of people have guns.
part of life.
You're in
Old,
Tennessee, it's okay.
but over there it's funny because I just yesterday
We carry
showed.
here too.
They showed pictures and they're
Picture.
carrying them on their backs,
Yeah.
moms with babies.
With babies.
Old people that
Very
are bent
old.
over, have them on their backs.
Yeah.
Just, it's kind of funny to
Really,
look
it's
at all
funny
those
to see
pictures.
that, and really funny. You go into the market. We're living next to the market, to Yehuda Market, which is the main place in Jerusalem, and from all over the country, people coming over there for the restaurants, for the food, for the environment over there, and you're seeing all kind of people over there, all kind of Jewish, happy people dancing in the street, street show, people with a lot of faith. There is no Israeli song that just talk about random words. Everything is about God and faith, and isn't it? It's amazing. When I first heard all the country songs, then some of them I really like, but I never pay attention for the words. And I goes hey, then he was drunk and left his wife and kids,
Crying in fear.
always about the same.
You're right.
Same problem. We don't have a song lyric about things like that. It's always about God and the faith and the state and not the state, the land of Israel. Okay, it's different between the state and the land. It's kind of was like weird for me to find out and, pay attention for that little thing.
So thinking about resources that Israel needs to continue existence, what about food production? Where does most of it, where does Israel
Good questions.
get its food?
Then
Tell them about the
no,
apple.
really. First, I said then Israel leading the world, leading, not one of the best, leading with agriculture technology. Okay, everything then is come about any kind of things of agricultures. Mostly, it's come from Israel. All the irrigation system. Then for you, it's like obvious. Hey, we made it. I'm sorry. Okay, everything. Okay, only people then suffering for water could like creating something such a things like with the pipe
Irrigation?
irrigations. It's Israel. Those then going back and forth in the fields. Then you're seeing that, and you're thinking, oh, it's thanks to the American then made it. No, it's Israel. Desalinations, water. It's Israel. So many other things. It's come from Israel. And
We're grateful.
yeah, but mostly since Israel became a high-tech nation, so it's like agriculture, it's like low-tech, So mostly we, like in America, we bringing all our fruit, most of the fruit, from outside. That's what happened with Laura. Was one day I was trying to be proud of the Israeli fruits, and I showed her the apple was really beautiful red apple, and I said, "You see, this is Israeli agriculture. See how it's fun?" And she goes like, "Yeah, you." She saw the sticker, then said, "Made in America, USA."
State of Washington.
Yeah, that was funny, but yeah, I mean, we have it. It's like mostly we export some. I grew up in a kibbutz. Just yesterday, I told them. Then we used to grow melon and watermelon, and we was the first kibbutz that grow watermelon in wintertime, December, January, when people cannot even think about watermelon.
Since seeds.
Yeah, yeah. Now it's obvious, like you could get a watermelon in the middle of the winter. So we took the desert and we bring some, I don't know, a virtue to the desert by blooming the desert, by thinking about new technology to do in the desert. And now if you're going to the Negev Desert or Judah Desert, you're going to see a lot of kibbutz. And we literally bloomed the desert as Ben-Gurion, the first prime minister of Israel, had the visions of it. We literally do that. Because 65% of the land of Israel, it's desert. So we have to do something with it. We don't, Moses took 40 years to find the only place in the Middle East that have no oil. I mean, why couldn't stop in other 40 years it took him to bring us to a land and have nothing, barely Sea of Galilee.
But look at how many modern wars are caused by that. So I think he just knew what he was doing.
Yeah, I guessed, but and the only source of water then we had is the Sea of Galilee, and we all was drinking from the Sea of Galilee until the Sea of Galilee 20 years ago starting to shrink and really was came to some situations, then it was easy to walk on it. I'm just talking, but like.
Did you hear what he just said?
Yeah. You have to understand my, biblical joke.
No, that was
See,
funny.
that literally means walking where Jesus walked
Yeah.
over the Sea of Galilee.
Totally.
Not quite the same way.
And even to understand the storm in a lake, actually, Sea of Galilee, guys, it's a lake. I know that you're thinking, some of you may be thinking it's a sea. It's not a sea. It's not even close to sea. It's a lake. And just like 2 weeks ago, we went to some very nice lake in Alabama, West Point Lake. Quiet, still water, beautiful. I have to agree that it's much beautiful than the Sea of Galilee. But over there, no Jesus walk on the water. Okay? And I said to Laura, I could understand why it's a storm in such a smaller lake than Alabama Lake, because it's kind of a basin. All around it's mountains, the Golan Mountains, the Galilee Mountains, and all the heat going up, getting the cold heat in a high level, and creating a turbulence. Then every evening you have a high waves and strong wind.
Wow.
Okay?
Yeah, wow.
Make a sense. So when I starting to search things, I always was taking a Bible in one hand and a shovel in the other hand, just like to search and find things. And I was like, makes sense, the story of Jesus when was a storm over there, and the people was so afraid without faith, and he could control it. And when you coming to the Sea of Galilee, you're seeing the topograph area and what's going on over there. And then the story didn't come from nowhere. It's come from some things that happen over there. It's not Alabama Lake, then still nice, barely wind over there. Okay? So think about it. If I will give you a story, then in such a lake like Alabama was a storm every day, you're going to say, yes, but how? I mean, there is no record of storm in that area. But when you come into the Sea of Galilee, every day there is a record of storm, and some of them very strong, So that's what I like to search with my believer, with my tourist in Israel, to go to archaeological places and to find out that, always to make your faith more and more strong. You cannot live your faith without feeding your faith with things. Okay, so you cannot say, okay, this year's I have a faith. I don't want to touch. I don't want to search. I don't want to. No, every day you have to feed your faith, because otherwise you're going to lose it. And that's what I feel about it. Yeah.
Okay. I can't come to Israel right now. I've been in Steve's group for off and on for a while. I'm in it now. Probably wouldn't be asking you if we were meeting right now. But you talk about all the media and everything, which I don't know how y'all's media is. I don't trust ours at all.
We have the same thing.
Nobody does.
Yeah.
Same problem.
But I can't deny what I see, as far as, and I know right now even Trump is kind of like,
Yeah.
The hostages, they're still hostages, and the war is not looking like it's about to end, and I see the children starving. That does bother me. I'm believing, definitely believe, we support Israel. The only tattoo I have is Hebrew.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's Christians in America are divided over that. So, like unquestionable support for Israel. And I don't know, I'll always support Israel. And there's talk about, well, what is Israel?
Yeah.
And 'cause I watch some Christian, I don't do that, they're all Christian podcasters, and that have different opinions. And I'm so glad y'all was, I'm glad to hear it's safe, feels safe, is safe. But why do you think, like, you can't predict the future, but like I said, the war is not looking like it's about to end. And there's so much suffering going on, and we hear, which is the media, and I don't know if it's totally accurate, and Steve has probably sent out some stuff I haven't looked at.
I want
That answers this, that the children, and starving, and the people going for food and getting bombed. I don't know how accurate that is. And it's hard.
I want to answer that, but please, a little bit deep, I'm going to answer to that. The starvations, then the media talking about, we have to know what is the source of the starvations. It's Israel blocking the aid or not?
Probably
Well,
Hamas.
not.
It's probably
Not.
Hamas.
Not. We're giving millions of dollars a day.
No.
What happened on the way? During the Holocaust, then in a Jewish ghetto, the Jewish people knew how to share everything, knew how to build a school for children. Then every day the Nazis came and took, more and more people, and they educated them. There was a theater over there. There was more or less, there was like dividing the food, whatever they have between the people. We still was holding the human being, behave before we became animals. Because in such a place like that, you automatically or instinctively you become animals. You want to survive. So in Gaza we give all that. Hamas want to create situations like that. The people in Gaza, which 90% of them supporting Hamas. A lot of people thinking then it's some organizations came and control the people over there. No. It's the people supporting them. Okay? All the people is like thinking like the way of the Hamas thinking. So now, if you're going to learn a little bit about the Arab culture, about Islam, probably you're not going to like it because their culture, it's not really to share with everyone, especially in a hard situation. They behaving terribly. Go visit Arab country and see the culture and the behaving of the people. And then you're going to learn even more deep about how they will behave in that kind of a situations. So first of all, the society totally collapsed over there a way before, because that's part of the culture, to get for yourself, to get to your family, to get to your tribe. Every place in the Middle East, every Muslim state in the Middle East collapsed. And those then very successful, it's for one reason. They have one tribe. Saudi Arabia, one tribe. Bahrain, one tribe. Qatar, one tribe. Okay? The rest of the Arab Middle East country, they have multiple of different tribes, so they're always fighting against themselves. So many of them. Okay?
Like Shia and Sunni.
Shia and Sunni, it's like to say the Catholicism and Protestant. But inside of it, there is so many different denominations and tribes. That's why Iran, it's funny country, then it's still like could survive so many denominations over there. Yazidim, Persians, Iranians, Shia, even Sunni living in Iran. Ahmadim, so many of them. I could give you so many names, then you're going to say, well, I never heard about it. Exactly what happened in Gaza. Tribes. Every tribe's taking care of his. So, to protect his tribes, he is like, don't care about the other. If you need to kill them, to put them in starvations, they're going to do that. One of the classic movie that I always like to give examples is Lawrence from Arabia. I don't know how many of you saw the movie Lawrence from
Anybody
Arabia.
seen Lawrence of Arabia? Anybody seen that?
Well,
That's an older
Older.
show here.
Was there some scene over there? Then he killed the man, and Lawrence asked him, "Why you did that? He did nothing to you." He said, "He drank from my well. I have to kill him, otherwise, I'm not protecting my tribe." For the European and Western mentality, it's hard for us to understand it. But we doing everything to provide the aid. What happened over there? Yeah,
Self-inflicted.
it's like the society behave, and mostly the Hamas then like trying to control the people. But I cannot blame only Hamas about what happened over there. It's fighting between different family, different tribes. Then everyone want to take his share and don't care about the other. And some of them weak, some of them more stronger. And that's why we're sending that. But we not like could be guaranteed, and it's coming to the weak people over there. It's hard to do that because if you're gonna do that, probably gonna lose life for that, and we don't want it to do that, you know. So that's why you're seeing here and there those picture in the media. But you know, I want to say something about the media. 2 weeks ago, 1,000 Druze in Syria was massacred by the Jolani, that ISIS and the Bedouins over there. Why the media didn't talk about it? 1,000 children, woman was raped, and such a. Why the media not talking? What happened in Iran every day with the regime over there, in Iraq? What happened in Africa? So many people suffering over there, children over there. Why the media? Why when every time then the Jew killed one Arab more, the whole world is like so panic about that? I have the answer, but probably some of you don't gonna like it. Tradition of 2,000 years, then the Jewish people was persecuting. There was nothing. And now they became to be a strong state. What is it? We're not accepting that. Not the Arab in the area, and not even Europe. Just 80 years ago, we didn't have a state. And the European, millions of them, millions of millions, was like happy to cooperate with the Nazis to get rid of them and to exterminate all the. We didn't do anything. We didn't have no Gaza back then. Huh? We didn't have no Gaza. We didn't have state. We didn't have weapon. We didn't have a way to protect ourselves. And the whole Europeans was raised against us and tried to, all of them, especially the Ukrainians, you know. And now you're finding some reason about here and there, so it's always gonna be, you know. We're not like excited for kind of accusation, yeah, accusations. It's always was existing there, you know. Ben Gurion said, I like to quote of Ben Gurion, said, "It's not matter what the other thinking, it's matter what the Jewish doing." Okay, so probably this is that's the solutions. And yes, war, it's very bad for everyone. Yeah, it's very bad. And I guess if take the populations, the percentage of the populations, 7 million, 1,200 people, which is, if I take it in American population, it was like supposed to be 70,000 people was raping by, let's say, the Mexicans, killing women, doing such a horrible things. You really believe that Mexico was existing after that?
I agree, I mean,
Okay,
they did
so-
a horrible thing.
Yeah. Before you're accusing someone, think if it will happen to your family, to your country, how you will behave. and we really behave nice, still
Yeah,
nice.
You have really behaved nice, I agree.
Yeah, no, yeah, still before we bombing places, we giving a note, we sending a messages, we calling to the people, tell them to run away from that place and you know,
And some of that starvation on our news networks is basically just propaganda, it's not true.
That's right.
And what is going on is that the Houthis, or the evil ones, are stealing the food from the people and allowing them to starve. It's not that Israel's not feeding them, or
Well,
the
you
United
can't get a
States is
good
not
news
feeding them.
story if you let people eat.
Yeah,
yeah,
Generating the news.
yeah,
Right.
Yeah.
right.
And we had this conversation yesterday. If you look at what's supposed to be happening, what's supposed to be happening is, here's the supplies. The UN has people that are there to properly distribute those supplies. The UN has not done anything but sit there and watch the bad guys come and grab everything, and then now your people are starving. So where's the blame? Is the aid getting there? Yes. It's the proper distribution and that's not an Israel problem, that's a UN problem.
Why no one blame the Russians people then sending aid and supplies and food to Ukraine? Why Israel? Why it's like that? I mean,
Yeah.
why the United Nations always condemn Israel more than any other country in the world?
I
You
don't
know,
think Israel should be
why not to say
surprised.
the Russians, hey, give to the Ukrainians food, you know, send them aid and.
But it
I
is
mean,
in the bombs.
why Israel? It's like different double standard, you know. Than always like seeing that. So, but you know what? I'm not offending. I'm not totally not offending. I understand that I'm Jewish. You know, I have a Star of David with me always. Okay, I seeing people here, even
She had one.
yeah, and I was like, you have a courage. I can't take it out. It's here in my, I don't know, mentality to like protect yourself, Eli, and put it here. You don't need to show to everyone. Anyway, my faith is my faith, you know. And what to explain right now? Hey, yes, I'm Jewish, but I'm believing Jesus. What is how? Now I need to give the whole lecture for that. I don't want it. People seeing the symbols and then putting you in a box. You know, you belong to that box. You belong to that box. Yeah. So I don't want anyone to put me in a box, you know, just because of that. And yes, since I remember myself, it's like always was situations like that. I could give you a story when I was 10 years old. A terrorist passed the border because my kibbutz is like right on the Jordanian border, you know, like let's say 1 mile from the Jordanian border. And terrorists crossed the border and came to the kibbutz. So it was alert in the kibbutz, and all the members took guns, and you know And my father took us to the room, kind of a security room, and he told us not to come. And I was so scared, and I said, "Why are we doing that to him? Why are we always bad?" Because I was blaming me for what happened, or blaming us because I was really believed in we doing bad things. Because why people want to kill you? Because probably you're bad, and we're doing the bad things. And I was starting to cry and panic, and I said, why we always have it? Why we always have it? And I remember that my father said, because we are special people, son. Okay? So maybe to see all that and to see the whole European hating us, make me special. You know? The day then they're going to agree with us with everything, I will feel insecure.
Yeah.
Like, number, verse 6, and it said in Hebrew, Yevachecha Adonai veishamrecha, Yair Adonai panecha אליו ויחונקה, יישא אדוני פניו אליך וישים לך שלום. אמן.